Well, hello again, everybody. I'm Deb Sofield, and you're listening to my weekly show called Encouragement for Your Life. Many of you know I'm a national speaker and trainer and an executive speech coach. I help people find their voice and learn to use it. I'm also a conference speaker on the topics of public speaking for your non-listening audience, how to make a great presentation, how to deal with the media, and crisis communication. If your organization is having a conference and you need a keynote speaker, I would love to be a part of your team. You can find me at debsofield.com. I've got a number of books on the market. My book series, Encouragement for Your Life, Tough Love Memos to help you fight your battle and change the world, as well as my bestseller book, Speak Without Fear. And I have a new book on the market called Perfecting Your Platform. Just go to Amazon, type in my name, Deb Sofield, and all my books will appear. I've got a great theme today. It's a good reminder. Friends, you got to let your light shine. I love the quote from Wilfred Peterson who said, "Be a source of strength and courage. Share your wisdom. Radiate your love." And that's what we're going to do this afternoon. I'm Deb Sofield. Thanks for spending these next few minutes with me. Let's get started with today's show. Have you ever met someone who just seems to light up a room? Just by their presence, they bring a new dimension to the group. Sometimes these folks are loud in personality and style, and sometimes they are, believe it or not, on the quiet side. But what they bring is a feeling of joy in the truest sense of the word, and they radiate an aura of calm and peace and tranquility. And frankly, they're just great people to be around. Now, you might be saying, "Hey, Deb, bring them on," because we could all use a friend like that. And I agree. And so my thought for today is this: how about you be that person? What is it to say that you can't set aside your sadness and worry and fear and anger and be the light that you're supposed to be? Yeah, I'm talking to you, listener. Listen, I'm done hearing excuses on how hard it is to get going in life with work and family and every other excuse you have for not doing your part. Hey, guess what? It's time to grow up. This is your life. And this is the life you've been dealt. So you have a responsibility to fill the space, no matter how big or small, or even if you don't feel like it. And if you don't like your current life, well, then friend, we need to make a change. No one is stopping you but you. So stop blaming everyone else for your sad sack life. Okay, so I've got to level with you. Some days I don't feel all that encouraging. I've got a lot going on. I'm busy and I'm tired and I'm a sole proprietor. I do it all. But guess what? Really, in the scheme of life, I've come to learn, and in a good way, nobody cares what my troubles are. Now, of course, they care on a surface level. That's just being polite. But really, in the course of the world spinning in orbit, I'm like everyone else, and I have responsibilities to do my part, to let my light shine, whether I feel like it or not. Now, why do I feel this responsibility, and why am I pushing you today, you may ask? Well, because when all is said and done, I fully believe that you and I are blessed. Whether you see it, admit it, or own up to it, it doesn't matter what you think. Friend, you're here. And just the act of being present in your current situation, I believe you've got a responsibility to do your part. And you know what your part is, right? I'm with you on this. It's to let our light shine, to be our best, to care for others, to do our part, to stop slacking off in hopes that someone else will do our job. Now listen, I know there are days or weeks or maybe months when you really can't give much to others due to life getting in the way. But friend, you can do something. I've never met anyone who could not at the very least give something. Whether it's time, a listening ear, fixing a simple problem, making a meal, or giving someone fresh flowers or vegetables from your garden. I think the problem is pride. See, most of us think we have to do great big things for others so everyone can see our generosity and largeness. But that's not the case. Most of the people in your circle have pretty much all they need. Maybe not all they want, but they have enough to get by. So why do you think you need to blow it out of the water? I can tell you, self-pride. You want to be hailed, recognized, and loved. Hey, I don't blame you. But that's not what I'm talking about today. You can do that, when you inherit $1 million or win the lottery. But for today, if you would just do your part and let your light shine by your words, your actions, your time, and your love, wow, that could be life-changing. Now listen, you know that money doesn't make it easier. Trust me, there's always someone with more money than you. But what they don't have is your spirit, your heart, your kindness, your light that shines in the darkest hours. Friend, there's not enough money in the world to buy that or take that away. I meet a lot of people in my travels who, if you were to ask me, have given up on living their best life ever. Because, let's just be honest, it is easy to be average, and they think it's okay to be good enough. If you've listened to my show for any time, you know there is one phrase that makes me want to scream, and it's the phrase, good enough. Whatever happened to being great, amazing, magnificent? Not just good enough, for Pete's sake. To be better tomorrow than you were today, to push yourself to be your best, to set an example for your family and friends and coworkers so they can also be their best. Friend, explain to me why you settle for average. Beside the fact that it's easy, why do you, amazing you, settle for less than your best? Have you thought about it? I'm curious why you give so little when your time on this earth, it's short. Really, why do you shortchange those you claim to love and care for by being less than your best? Is it because you were told years ago by people who really don't know you that you're not good enough and you believed them? Friend, they're wrong. Please tell me you've not bought into this world's false advertising that everyone's physically beautiful, smart, and rich. Come on, those people on magazine covers are there for a year, if that, and then they fade away. Why? Because it's not real. I want to know, when did you accept the words of others who don't want you to succeed? Because that's what this is. Friends, you and I have family and friends who live in a world of scarcity and not plenty. These people don't have room for one more because they're selfish and they take everything they can. But that's not you. Those are not your people. And by the way, if they are, run away. I just have to ask, why are you settling for less than your best? Why do you listen to people who don't have your best at heart? Why on earth are you spending time with negative, selfish, unkind people who are takers and not givers? Why? Are you comfortable there? Come on, you can't be. That's not your tribe. And over time, I guarantee they will dull your light and they will blow out your candle. Listen, I know the world is full of takers, people who will take everything you've got and ask for more. But remember, those are damaged people who want everything for themselves and will not share or give to others unless it's on their terms. And their terms are not reasonable by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, friends, let me remind you that if someone is a taker and does not give back to you or others who've helped them, you must walk away. You don't have to keep giving because, friend, it will never be enough. And then they will prey on your kindness and goodwill until you are spent, empty, and broken. And then they'll walk away and they'll look for someone else to steal from. And yes, I use the word steal because those takers are stealing, and it's wrong. Listen, I don't care how damaged they are that they use it for an excuse. I hear it all the time. Oh, my parents died. They got a divorce. They lost their job. Nobody loved me. I have a bad self-image. Okay, listen. I know that sometimes I sound harsh. Trust me, my friends tell me that. But I hear these excuses all across the world, and I'm over it. Hear me. These takers never change because somewhere along life's path, they took a detour and their light burned out. And they have nothing to share with anyone anymore. Hear me, if you know someone like this, you have got to politely run away from them. They can find their own tribe and steal from each other. But starting today, they are done stealing from you. So now you've got to walk away, and friend, don't look back. As appealing as they are, because you want to help them to look at their past, which is their present situation, and notice it, is the same thing over and over, and it never changes. So free yourself. You've done all you can for them. Do no more, because they are dimming your light, and they will continue to do so until you are completely spent. Now, I am all about you being the biggest, brightest rock star light that's out there. But I'm going to tell you something. I am surprised that for most people, being a night light is all the light they can muster to shine. Really? Just a faint light so they don't bump into things at night or stub their toe going to the bathroom. Nothing too great, but barely enough to be. And I have to ask why. Because for an average is good enough for many of you. Your marriage is average, your family is average, your job is average, and frankly, you're just comfortable living an average life in an average world. How that happens is beyond me. When the light you could be shining, the light you have within you, the light you were given, the light you had years ago could change someone's life. So friend, I just have to say, I want you to think about it. Think about what it would take to let your light shine. Your inward soul and spirit, and being allowed to let you shine brightly. And listen, the reason this matters is because you have a responsibility. Like it or not, you have a responsibility to shine brightly for others, to see their way through the darkness. Ray Davis once said, "Your greatness is revealed not by the lights that shine upon you, but by the light that shines within you." I love the quote from Maya Angelou, who said, "Nothing can dim the light which shines from within." Friend, I agree. The light that shines within you is a lasting light to show the way not only for you, but for others. So, join with me. You know the song, "That Little Light of Mine." Come on, let it shine. Friend, don't put it under a bushel. I won't put mine under one. You shouldn't put yours under one. I think we should shine. Yeah, I do. Shine on, my friend. Be a bright light in this dark world. I'm Deb Sofield. You're listening to, believe it or not, Encouragement for Your Life. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll come right back, and let's talk about how you can be a light for others to help them on their path. Because, friends, you're needed. Man, if there was ever a time in America today, that time is now. And here's what's interesting. You know it. It's just going to take some work. I know you're busy, but I also know that you care. All right, hang on. I'll be right back after the break. Hi, I'm Deb Sofield. I'm a national speaker and an executive speech coach based here in Greenville, South Carolina. Hey, friend, if you or someone you know is interviewing for a job or college or law school or medical, dental, veterinary school, call me. You need to be prepared for the interview. Together, we'll craft the answers to the questions that will be asked, even the hard ones, and I'll teach you how to connect with the interviewer, work on your positive body language, and give you the powerful words and answers that the interview requires. For most interviews, there's a standard set of questions that you must know the answer to, and depending on what you're interviewing for, that conversation changes. You need an interview coach, and I can help. I have years of experience successfully coaching for all types of interviews, helping my clients succeed. I'd love to be on your team. Friend, I'd love to be your coach. Find me online at debsofield.com. debsofield.com. Hey friends, welcome back. So you may be saying to yourself, Deb, why are you talking about this? Well, here's why. I mentioned it in my opening story. I do feel a responsibility, and that's why I'm pushing you today. Because when all is said and done, friend, you and I are blessed, whether we can see it, admit it, or own up to it. It doesn't matter what we think. Here's the reality. You and I are here, and just the act of being present in our current situation, I just think we have a responsibility to do our part. And you know what our part is, because I'm in this with you. It's to let our light shine, to be our best, to care for others, to do our part, and to stop slacking off in hopes that someone else will do our job. There's nothing more frustrating when I see somebody being a night light instead of a bright light. With that said, I've come across some really good articles I'd like to share because I really believe you and I have a responsibility. I came across a good blog post by Tiffany Fletcher, and she says this: "In today's world, violence and hostility make up the majority of the evening news. Bomb scares, death threats, brutality, and destruction can be found in every newspaper. With so much darkness in the world, where do people go for a source of light?" Neil Anderson, who's a religious leader and Harvard graduate, said, "With the confusion and commotion of today's world, it's not surprising that fewer people are attending their places of worship. Although many want to be, quote, closer to God and have a better understanding of their purpose in life, they have so many unanswered questions." And he goes on to say, you and I can help answer those questions in our everyday conversation and how we interact with others. We could add to their faith. There are many of us who carry light in a darkened world. We know joy in a world of sorrow and peace in a time of storms. We have the ability to lift heavy burdens, heal wounded hearts, and bless weary souls. We even have the ability to bring light to a darkened world, changing the world each time we share our light with others, lighting one heart, one candle at a time. And there's ways you and I can do that. We could give compliments. There are always opportunities to compliment others. And every compliment you give is another simple way for the Spirit to touch someone's heart. Our friend, you and I could spread goodness, and we are spreading the Spirit of God. Goes on to say, use your talents. Whatever your talents, you can use them to bless the lives of others and help spread light, whether it's through music, writing, art, photography, computer programming, or any other number of talents that you and I have. You can use your talents for good and spread the light to others. Think of what you have and how you can use it to change the world. He goes on to say, don't be afraid to talk to strangers in a supermarket, on the airplane, in a park. I can't tell you how many times I strike up conversations with people, well, frankly, because I like to talk. And frankly, because I think sometimes people just need to talk to a stranger. It's amazing what you can learn about somebody at an airport, let me just tell you. So his article says, don't be afraid to strike up a conversation and let your voice be heard. See, words to speak will be given to you in the very moment you need them. Opportunities will open to you. Faith will overcome doubt, and the Lord will bless you in your work. He goes on to say, let the Lord's promise, claim it for yourself when you open your mouth and fear not. If you carry the light of the Savior, He will bless you as you share His light with others. And friend, when you share your truth, you and I have the ability to add light to a darkened world. So shine on. Let your light shine. Share your truth so it could change the world. I like that article. A little bit different there, but I enjoyed it. I came across another blog post by Rebecca Crespo, and I really like this one. Let me share it with you. She says, you can make a lot of impact in this world, but if there's one thing you should be known for, friend, it should be your light. In a world comprised of nothing but chaos and darkness, you and I should let our light shine above all else to give hope to others in their path. See, when you shine your light, you become a symbol of hope and goodness in the world. And friend, that's rare. To be a light in someone's life is ultimately the best thing you and I can do for them. And then she goes on to give you some ways to shine your light. Being a light to others can mean a variety of things. For starters, it means being a generous and selfless person. This means you intentionally go out of your way to help others, even without the cost of expecting something in return. Friend, being there to help others is what makes you the light to others. Your loved ones can rely on you to be there for them, especially on their darkest days. And to put things simply, you bring even a tiny spark to them when they could be losing hope. See, by letting your light shine, you help others fight their battles even without knowing it. There's something to be said about someone who has a pleasant expression or smiles, as if their smile is the way they share their light with the world. Now, it's not creepy, people, but something that just says, pleasant expression, you care about others, you'd like to engage with them. It's amazing how much a simple smile could really brighten someone's day. I see this a lot in the grocery store as people are kind of grumbling, going down the aisles, looking at prices, and you can kind of make just a gentle remark or a pleasant expression. It really does work. I know it sounds cheesy, but trust me, I've done it and it works. The next point is be there for a friend. Being there for someone during their darkest hours is something they will never forget. By being there for a friend, you and I are sharing our light and hope with them. In a moment when they may feel hopeless and devastated, friend, you and I can be there. They say being there for someone in their darkest makes a stronger impact than being there when they're at their best. And I would have to agree with that. Her next point is you should be giving compliments to others. You should say nice things about others. Oh, stop it with the smart aleck comment when you introduce your kids or your spouse to somebody. Just say something nice. I cannot tell you how much that bothers me when someone says, here, meet my son, and then they don't say something kind. They make some stupid comment. And I see the kid just kind of shrivel before me. Friend, let's give good compliments. Whether or not someone's love language is words of affirmation, giving a compliment is really a selfless act because you and I know that words have power and a lot more power than we realize. And I believe by speaking words of truth and honesty and light and love can make or break someone's day. Give compliments. You are sharing kindness and compassion in your own way when you do so. And knock it off being unkind to friends and family when you introduce them to others. Give their best quality. I ran into a friend of mine who's a realtor, and I've got a lot of friends who are realtors, but I introduced her as one of the top realtors in Greenville. And she just lit up. Now, in her world, she probably is. But the reality is I had something good to say. And I say that about all of them because Greenville's got a lot of great realtors. All right, my next point is be friendly. Similar to your smile, friendliness goes a long way. This means going out of your way to talk to strangers, helping them, meeting new people. You would be surprised by the impact you can have on people you barely know. See, people with a certain light within them, they have it in their nature to light others' paths, even strangers. I mentioned before, but use your passion. What you love impacts how you become a light for others. For instance, if you're a writer, one of the ways to shine your light is through the art of your words that make other people feel something. I always love it when I get like a nice note in the mail that's not an advertisement or a bill. It doesn't take much. You know, when I had my friends' kids were younger, I would mail them postcards from all the places around the world I would travel, partly to maintain a friendship in their life and also to let them know how big the world was and that they should get their passport and get going. I like the next point is share your optimism and gratitude. Friend, we live in a world where its nature is to dwell in negativity. But when you break that and you show that your outlook and perspective is one of light and life, you will naturally be the light they need in their lives. Friend, be the kind of person in a world that focuses on negativity that you choose to focus on optimism and gratitude. Be the kind of person that chooses to see the silver lining, even in the difficult circumstances. And the next point is one I think we all agree with, but sometimes I'm not sure we do it to the best of our ability, and that's give to charity. I have been cleaning out a house. It's amazing the stuff that people hang on to. I know that I've actually cleaned out my house, I think 3 times because I moved from a larger one to a much smaller one. I don't need all this stuff. I want to live lighter. And I have noticed that when I give it away, whether it's to a charity or to friends or neighbors, man, they're happy. I'm happier because it cleans things out. And one thing I think you and I do know, there are many good people who desperately need a selfless heart in such a self-absorbed world. So even a simple act of generosity could change their world for the better. I'll go on to say give what you can, not out of compulsion or requirement, but out of sincerity and generosity. That's the best thing we can do for others. See, the reason we don't is that so many times, as I mentioned, it's like it has to be a big, grand gesture. But that's pride. We don't need that. You would be surprised how others appreciate simple things. Friendship, compliment, laughter, Krispy Kreme donuts. So, be the light to others. It's not always about material things. It's about the intangible things you and I can't buy with money. I got to tell you, I love this last point, and that's listen with intent. This is such a selfless act that people rarely do it nowadays. We're so focused on listening to respond that we do not listen for the sake of actually listening and processing what others have to say. Listening is considered a selfless act in itself, as the best thing you could do is to make somebody feel heard for what they want to communicate, not you restating it, but actually listening. By listening to someone's problems, their joys, their hopes, their dreams, You and I can help them find their path. Final point is empathize with others. There's a difference between empathy and sympathy. Empathy means you're putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Empathy and selflessness are deeply intertwined, if you'll think about it. See, when you and I empathize with others, we become a light as we make them feel understood. When we empathize, we remind them they are not alone in this world. They're not alone in their pain. They're not alone. They've got somebody who cares. So, friend, that's our job. We've got to learn to be the light. And I think it's important you and I let our light shine so others can see it. And that's the show for today. Folks, thanks for joining me. I hope you have a great weekend, and I look forward to having you join me next time for Deb Sofield's Encouragement for Your Life. Have a good one, everybody.